Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, April 12, 2019. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. A month of activities to commemorate the 40th anniversary since the last eruption of the Lasafre volcano was launched here today. The activities are being hosted by the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, in collaboration with the University of the West Indies and the Seismic Research Center. Tomorrow, April 13, 2019, will be 40 years since Lasafre last erupted, and earlier today an exhibition was held to formally launch the month of volcano awareness activities and to sensitize the public on the volcanic emergency evacuation aspect of the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief HADR component of the Tradewinds exercise 2019. Larissa Pugsley-Kidd tells us more.
In the event that another eruption takes place at Lasafre volcano, Vincentians are being asked to be volcano ready, and this can be done by showing more interest in the educational awareness activities that are taking place this month. The month-long activities was launched today with an exhibition held to share information with members of the public. Speaking at the launching event, Director of the Seismic Research Center, Dr. Robertson, expressed the view that while Vincentians are more aware of volcanic preparedness, educational awareness has to continue.
We've done over the years with NEMO is to try to find different ways in which we could keep the story of the 1979 eruption alive and before that, and also keep alive the fact that we live, and if you live in St. Vincent, you have to live with a volcano that could erupt in the future. And if that's been the case, then you need to know a bit more about it. You need to know where you are relative to the volcano. You need to know something about what you may have to do to make sure you're out of harm's way. So Volcano Awareness Week and Volcano Awareness Month is part of that ongoing exercise to make sure that you're aware.
The Seismic Research Center works closely with NEMO. The center manages the Volcano Ready project, which involves 12 communities in close proximity of Lasafre.
We have now a project which we call the Volcano Ready Communities Project, where we're working with NEMO in the communities at a community level to get the communities themselves more ready for future emergencies. And that's the key thing, really. For emergencies, you need to get the people who have to respond. The first responders are really the people in the community. You get them more aware and know what to do. So we're glad to be doing that.
Deputy Director of NEMO, Kenson Stoddard, highlighted the importance of ensuring all Vincentians become knowledgeable about Lasafre volcano.
The event is a landmark event in the history of St. Vincent and Grenadines. And the stories, the information form a critical part of the national heritage of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and that we must preserve.
As part of the awareness activities, the RSVG police force will be carrying out a volcanic emergency evacuation, which is part of the humanitarian assistance and disaster relief component of the Tradewinds exercise 2019 to be held here in June.
And one of the scenarios that we will be having in exercise Tradewinds for 2019 is something dealing with the eruption of Lasafre. So we are ensuring that our emergency services are prepared and trained in the event, God forbid, that we have another eruption. We must always be prepared for the unexpected.
Tomorrow, April 13, which marks 40 years since the last eruptions of Lasafre, a hike to Lasafre volcano from the leeward end will take place. NEMO is organizing the hike and is encouraging members of the public to take up the challenge and be part of this event that will be headed by Director of the Seismic Research Center, Dr. Robertson. This year, a trail guide was developed and persons using the trail can scan the barcode with a mobile camera and view the trail guide on their devices. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
SVG will be hosting the second leg of the Tradewinds exercise from June 14 to the 21st this year, and preparations locally are well underway. This is according to Chair of the Public Information Subcommittee for Tradewinds 2019, Assistant Superintendent of Police Junior Simmons. SB Simmons, who was speaking at the launch of the month-long Volcano Awareness Month of activities today, said that the committee has been working closely with the relevant stakeholders to ensure that the Tradewinds exercise in SVG is a success.
Preparations are in its advanced stages for exercise Tradewinds. The local secretariat has been working very, very hard. Our efforts are being led by the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Frankie Joseph. He is the lead planner for Tradewinds 2019, and Superintendent Enville Williams. He's the manager of the Secretariat Office. And we have been working along with NEMO and other stakeholders to ensure that we are ready for these exercises and will have very successful exercise when the time comes. So I want to invite those of you who are here, who are from foreign countries, to come back to experience exercise Tradewinds live and direct.
More than 400 persons are expected to be part of the exercise in SVG, as all 15 CARICOM member states will be participating, as well as law enforcement and military personnel from Colombia, Mexico, the USA and Europe. ASP Simmons said assessing SVG's response to various forms of emergencies will be tested, which will be beneficial to the country.
The main objectives would be to test our response mechanisms in relation to natural disasters and also crimes, transnational organized crimes, because our region is prone to certain types of crimes: human trafficking, drug trafficking, small arms trafficking, and so forth. So we must ensure that our law enforcement officials and officers are properly trained to combat these crimes.
The Tradewinds exercise is held annually in the Caribbean and is the largest military and disaster response exercise in the region. President of the Public Service Union, Elroy Boucher, is calling for a proper performance and appraisal system for all public servants in the country. He made this call on the PSU Speaks program on sister station Magic 103.7 last evening. Highlighting a recent judgment made in favor of the PSU against the Public Service Commission, Boucher said the judgment made it clear that a comprehensive appraisal system is necessary. He added that the union stands ready to work with all stakeholders on this matter.
There has been no response to that particular call by the union to have that part of the judgment being effected. There has been no response. We really do want a proper, comprehensive appraisal system for the public service. We had the performance and development system, the PMDS that failed. We think it is time enough that
we looked at again
that system, because I think that was an okay system, an appraisal system. We think that it is time enough that the government move to have a system in place that deals comprehensively with performance appraisal. I've seen 2 sheets of paper going around from Service Commission with appraisal, and that cannot be.
Woeful.
Yeah, that cannot be. That is woefully inadequate. It is very subjective. You need a proper appraisal system, as the judge has ordered.
Boucher lamented that when invited, some permanent secretaries and heads of departments refused to meet with the union on issues relating to worker rights. He said this hinders the union's ability to educate public servants on their rights and responsibilities.
Some heads of department and a permanent secretary to have a meeting with the staff, and they don't even respond to you. We have been trying to have a meeting with Inland Revenue, the comptroller of Inland Revenue, for 2 years now, even to discuss the pension issue. That was a burning issue, burning a problem, and the information needed to be given to the workers to help educate them and inform them, so that union isn't informing. We attempted to even go to get the information to let them understand what are the implications, so that when government is ready to have the discussions, the workers and the members are in a position to have the discussion. That was met with deafening silence, no response. It's like a blunt refusal. You wonder why.
Meanwhile, PSU trustee Joel Poyer said A worker who is uninformed about his or her rights and responsibilities cannot be efficient and productive.
Other than that, an uninformed worker is an unproductive worker. Because if you don't understand your whole essence and your benefits and all these sort of things that will impact on you, it will sort of like be iffing how far you can go and what you should do or not. And then it could impact on the whole productivity on a whole.
Well, it's not to think that way, boy.
And people have to understand, it's not just money alone, it's incentive. The whole working atmosphere. And if that is not conducive, then you won't have productivity. We'll have workers watching one another. You will have them picking off against one another. And all sort of things. And that will impact, and the impact will go spread throughout, like a domino effect.
The government is taking steps to address the issues of theft of marine products, as well as looking at ways the community of Caliacor can be further developed. These were highlighted by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves at the signing ceremony early this week of an agreement to establish a seafood processing plant at Caliacor between the government of SVG and the Jamaican-based Rainforest Seafoods Incorporated. PM Gonsalves said the theft of equipment used to catch lobsters is an issue which is closely being examined, and that measures are being put in place to boost the capacity of the Coast Guard to deal with this matter.
If lobster's out, you'll find that the price of lobster has gone up, and because of this, the new species of theft has arisen. You used to have predial larceny, stealing of animals. You have one or two people now who want to specialize in stealing lobster pots.
Never heard of that.
So that's an area of the security which we have also tightened when the Coast Guard is alive to this issue, and the police. I'm telling you all what you need to expect and what we are doing. But this wouldn't be news to you, because you would have found things several like this in other parts of the world where you do business. Yes, we just have to address those matters now.
While encouraging Rainforest Seafoods Incorporated to be involved in community outreach programs while doing business in SVG, PM Gonsalves identified areas for development in the Caliacor community.
A good air witness, and to get involved in a number of things with the communities. We have to do certain other developments in the area. We have good service in many respects. There is, for instance, even the number of vehicles which have come in, and the other industrial things nearby. We need to have a service station in the area. We have to try and find a piece of land where we have a local entrepreneur who wants to build a service station, and so on and so forth. It's a good place to do business, and I'm happy that you are here.
Two Vincentians, Adrian Straker and Radhika Ragay, are among 29 medical students of the All Saints University College of Medicine, SVG, who will receive their white coats when the university holds a white coat ceremony this Saturday, April 13th at the Arnesville campus, beginning at 4 p.m. The donning of the white coat by medical students represents the transition of fourth semester students from the basic sciences to the clinical phase of the MD or Doctor of Medicine program. The ceremony will hear addresses from President and Director of the All Saints University College of Medicine, SVG, Dr. Man Paul Pillai, Dean of Academic Affairs, Dr. Hughes Duggan, and Parliamentary Representative for West St. George, where the university is located, Cecil Mackey. The three top students of the graduating class will each receive scholarship awards. There will also be the naming of students to the Dean's List at Saturday's ceremony. In another 5 months' time, a second batch of orthopedic surgeons are expected here, and parents who have children with orthopedic problems are being encouraged to check with the World Pediatric Project, the WPP office, to have their children assessed for possible surgery. Senior Program Director with the World Pediatric Project from St. Louis Hospital in the USA, Kate Corbett, said on their next mission, a clinic will again be held to determine who is suitable for surgery.
That has a child who may have a concern will contact the WPP St. Vincent office, and then a lot of times what we do is we never stop working between now and September. We will be obtaining information, medical information, x-rays. Our surgeons then will be reviewing those back in St. Louis, and we will then determine which children will be seen, and then not until the week of clinic day will they decide the exact surgery schedule. But again, from today on, we'll begin working on those cases.
She said 2 specialist doctors who deal with the upper and lower extremities will be among the team of doctors on the next orthopedic mission.
Will be at the end of September. We'll actually run 2 operating rooms. Every other year we have a team that specializes in hand surgeries, what we call our upper extremity surgeries. So we'll have one physician, Dr. Gordon, who will focus on the lower extremity, most of the conditions of the legs, and then another OR that will focus on conditions of the hand. So really 2 specialists, which is really an amazing opportunity for these families who have children that can benefit from one or both of these teams.
WPP orthopedic team first started its mission in 2011. However, 3 years ago, the WPP has doubled its efforts due to the increase in demand by patients.
We used to bring 1 team a year, and over the years our waiting lists were getting longer and longer and longer, and it's really hard to look into a parent's eyes and say, we can't fit your child in for surgery, you'll have to wait until next year. So for the past 3 years we bring 2 teams a year, so in April, and then we'll be back again in September. Because the numbers have grown, they've grown here locally and from the region, and so we want to continue taking care of as many kids as possible.
The 2019 Digicel SVG Gospel Fest will continue this weekend with a number of events across the country. This Friday evening, the festival moves to the newly renovated Peace Memorial Hall for the SVG-TCCU Limited Dance Praise, which features some 17 dance groups on one stage. The Miracle Arena SVG in Stony Grounds will be the venue on Sunday evening for the Standard Shippers Inc. Band Praise, which will feature 6 gospel bands. 2 zonal gospel shows will also be staged on Sunday evening. The ASL Otto Mariocor Zone will be at the Joyful Praise Tabernacle in Richland Park, while the Vitamalt Beckway program will take place at the Clive Tennis Park from 6 p.m. with Ronnie Richardson as the featured artist. There will be presentations in song, dance, and drama. The outstanding artists from the zonal showcases will be selected to appear at the Digicel National Gospel Showcase on April 28th at the Victoria Park. SVG Gospel Fest, which is the major gospel festival in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is into its 17th year and is being celebrated under the theme, A Glorious Celebration of the Gospel of Jesus Christ.